We are simply awakening inwardly, observing this state of suffering. This is the truth of suffering. Be aware of what the mind is thinking. When any meaning arises, recognize it immediately. When a bit of effort or striving surfaces, be aware of it. Whatever condition arises that gives a sense of self, recognize it. Be mindful of how you are feeling in that moment, and once aware, just let it be. Know it and release it. Do not engage or play with it. However, if there is a reason to think, reflect, or conceptualize, do so without attachment. There is no real self behind it. Whether you catch it or not, it all passes eventually. It's like a running tap, constantly left open. We open the tap, and the water represents thoughts, emotions, and mental fabrications that flow continuously. The water, symbolizing these thoughts and emotions, keeps pouring out, flowing down the drain endlessly. Whether we are aware of it or not, it all flows down the drain. We just need to understand that the water flowing from the tap, whether it starts flowing at any time, whether we are aware of it or not, will always end up down the drain. Thoughts are the same, mental images are the same, emotions are the same. What we are doing in our spiritual practice, trying to grasp happiness, pushing away suffering, this is ignorance, avidya, that we cling to. Happiness and suffering are essentially the same. Thoughts that we label as wholesome or unwholesome, good or bad, merit or sin, are all the same, because everything is just a fabrication. When we are aware of it, it vanishes, right? It appears for us to recognize it now. This is the truth, isn't it? This is reality. Just like when we turn on the tap, the water flows out and immediately goes down the drain. While we have the tap open, we can use that water to wash dishes, but that water still flows down the drain. If we leave the tap running without using the water, it will also flow down the drain. We can wash our hands with it, and it still flows down the drain. We can make use of the water coming from the tap in various ways. For bathing, washing our faces, brushing our teeth, cleaning dishes, washing vegetables, boiling water for drinking, cooking, or mopping the floor. We can use this tap water for anything we want, or we can choose not to use it at all, and it will still flow down the drain as before. We don't need to quarrel over the principle of using water. When we come to study and practice Dharma, we often argue about the teachings, what is right and what is wrong. Dharma isn't about that either. The water flowing from the tap doesn't need to be a source of conflict. Why leave the water running? Why not use it to wash dishes? Why not use it to wash ourselves or take a shower? We get caught up in arguments about how to use the water, what is the correct way, what is the wrong way. It doesn't matter how we use the water, it will still flow down the drain. The water goes down the drain and into the filtration system, where it's purified and returned as clean water. It's just a cycle. When we open this tap, the water flows out for us to use, whether we choose to use it beneficially or harmfully, whether we use it to bathe, wash our bodies, drink, wash vegetables, or simply let it run without doing anything. Regardless, it will still flow down the drain. and it goes through the filtration system to be used again, remaining as it is. Just like that, mental formations, thoughts, mental images, emotions and perceptions, roughly speaking, our bodies and the material elements in this world, none of these are truly us. When thoughts arise, they arise and then vanish. They emerge from the tap and they flow down the drain. When we are aware, they flow down the drain. Whether we are aware or not, they still flow down the drain. When we feel joy, it flows down the drain. When we feel sadness, it flows down the drain. Don't cling to anything. It is the nature of things to unfold according to causes and conditions. When there is a cause for happiness, it flows down the drain. When there is a cause for suffering, it flows down the drain as well. Thoughts, in a relative sense, can also be used to our benefit, but it flows down the drain as well. Is there anything we can truly cling to? Is there anything we need to hold on to? If we cling, we carry a burden. It becomes heavy and causes suffering. Only those who are ignorant, those who still cling and hold on to ignorance, continue to play with this nature. Instead of allowing this nature to manifest and flow down the drain, we cling. We cling to maintaining the mind. We cling to practices. We cling to the idea that we must wear white robes, that we must chant constantly. We believe that by chanting often, we accumulate merit and spiritual power. We think we